if it's something outside of the scope that you're not used to, you want to go put some eyes on it.
Yeah.
And then again, the transparency kicks in.
Yep.
If it comes to residential or commercial, we have a lot of commercial clients.
Welcome to Opportunity Knocks. I'm your host, Todd Patton, and today I have the man, the myth, the legend, Danny Core. Danny, I'm so glad, man. A-Class Movers. He's the founder and co-founder. There's two of you. First of all, welcome.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
It's great to have you here, man.
Likewise.
So let's get the backstory. You have a really interesting one. And actually, your partners, Dave Austin, both of you have a similar history, back when you were younger. But I think it's such a fascinating story of how you guys played ball as little kids. Everybody dreams about playing in big leagues. You guys actually played. Tell us about the journey of how where you went to school. And
long journey. I went to 3 different high schools, so I had a hell of a journey.
All in South Florida.
All in South Florida. Graduated from Westminster Academy in Fort Lauderdale. Played baseball my entire life. Dave, my partner, went to Coconut Creek. And it's crazy because baseball's a small network.
Yep.
It's large, but we all know each other.
South Florida's large, but you're right. Correct. Especially because you're traveling, playing with each other. You know who the players are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we have mutual friend who you know as well, Vaughn David.
Yep.
So now it just all came together. Dave was in the insurance industry years ago, wanted out of that. I was already in the moving industry, and he came on, and now we are where we are.
And how long's A-Class been in business?
Since March of 2009. So
wow.
It'd be what?
For almost 16 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's good. So a couple things I want to ask you about the moving business itself, because people always say it's the unknown. They don't know. One of the challenges and one of the reasons I built One Home is because of the trust. I want to build trust. Correct. I want to first find the best companies that are out there run by the even better people. And that's what you guys are. I know the quality of the people you are, and you're honest, and you're building a real business, a real good business. But tell us a little bit about the other side of this industry that I'm sure you hear the nightmares of people. And it's a shame that people have to think of, oh yeah, the moving industry, people do that. But it's a fact. Why is that?
It's immediate when it comes to people that have been, there's people that move twice in their life, and there's people that move 30 times in their lives. And it just so happens that majority of them have that horror story that they've been through. Is it avoidable? If you know the right questions to ask, everything like that. But a lot of times, you're dealing with salesmen. Mm-hmm. They pitch you the right thing and it sounds good to you, and now it's a disaster on the other end.
Yeah, so there's basically a disconnect between the salesperson and then the company, the actual delivery of what you needed, what you really needed.
And it also plays a part if you're doing a local move, or you're doing a cross-country move. Who are you talking to? Are you speaking to one person directly, or are you speaking to somebody with a headset on sitting in a cubicle?
Right. So you guys are more of it's a family type business. I mean, it's a very tight knit.
Correct.
It's where you talk to the owners. If you needed something, you could deal with.
And if they need something, they have our direct contact.
Yeah, that's rare. So talk about the process of the moving. So when you move, and by the way, I learned something new when I got the tour. Your place is incredible,
Appreciate it.
And it's big, and you got a lot of space. But you guys also do storage.
Moving and storage.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the storage side of it, it's interesting because they work hand to hand. If somebody's moving, but maybe they can't close on the new house for another month, or they got to do, there's an in between. There's nothing better than this, because you guys can actually pick up their stuff, move it here,
and then when they're ready to go, vice versa.
So as far as the move itself, I'm always trying to give tips to homeowners. Is there anything that you could think of that a homeowner would say, hey, you know what, if I knew that? And it could be something as simple as how to pack bags if you're removing, or how to do this. But is there any little like DIY tips that people can do themselves if they're moving stuff around?
If you really think about it, it's moving.
Yeah.
There's not a science to it.
Right.
You're getting it from A to B, and the objective is do it in one piece.
Mm-hmm. And do it fairly quick. Like,
correct.
You don't want to. You guys, I've seen you in action. You guys are know what you're doing.
Well, doing anything over time. You develop a system, and you know what you're doing. As far as any tips, to a customer, everybody's different. It's all the same, but everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
All depending, not everybody has the same amount of furniture. Some people have more glass. Some people have more wood.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, less is more. They don't have that many items. So, yeah, we can go ahead and pack you and move you in one day. Majority of the time, if you need packing services, we're going to do it the day prior and relocate you the following day.
Okay.
But as far as any question, is there any question from you? If
Yeah.
you were a customer
Yeah.
and had a question for me, what would you ask a mover?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I would say the first thing would be time wise, like so if I'm moving, if I know I'm moving, if I'm selling a house, right,
Okay.
and I put my house for sale, when would be my time to get in touch with you guys and to say, hey, I need you to move? It's too early if I'm doing it 4 months in advance, probably, but like what?
It's not. I mean, it all depends how proactive the person is. I mean, some people will call you the day prior.
Jesus.
Hey, I'm sorry, I'm in a jam. I got to move. I got a 4-bedroom house, and I got to be out by tomorrow. And then now the wheels are turning, so now it's our job to go ahead and settle them down. But at the same time, you have to be very transparent in how you communicate. That way, if there is any questions, you just handle them straight up front, and there's no surprises with us.
Awesome. What about you mentioned packing the day before? So you guys would, if somebody's moving, which typically, let's talk about your typical client. It's somebody who's moving in Broward County, or is it somebody who's going out, or is it all across the board?
All across the board.
It is.
I mean, majority of your moves are local.
Yeah.
But if you're going from here to California, we'll take you. If you require packing, I can't provide you with a quote without seeing your items. Another tip for a customer, I always try to basically let them know it's best to get several quotes.
Interesting.
That way you have your comparables in front of you.
Yeah. And not necessarily the cheapest is the best way, right? So you might find somebody who's uninsured, who's got no. Yeah.
They could just be throwing something out there,
right.
and hopefully it sticks on the wall.
Yeah.
You never know. And then based on that, if you do call me back and say, hey, Danny, I did get your quote. You're a little bit higher than these guys. Can you explain to me what's going on? And then I know the questions to ask the customer.
Exactly.
Based on what you're looking at, what is it reading? And I can go ahead and detail it out.
So the key word that stands out from what you just said, which you don't hear a lot of companies saying that, go ahead and get other quotes, but it's transparency.
You have to.
Yeah, being transparent.
Correct. Because if I gave you a quote for $10 and everybody else is giving you a quote for $2,
yeah,
why are you 10 and why are they 2?
Exactly. There's a reason behind how that got, and then maybe there's a miscommunication between that homeowner and you with what they actually needed, that you were over. Right?
But you always need a comparable.
Exactly. That's good. Yeah. That's really good. As far as insurance, we talked about that, but how important is that? You guys are licensed, you're insured.
That's one of the first questions that, customers that may be a little iffy about what's going on. Are you licensed and insured? Yes, we are. You can go on the website. You can look it up. Any questions you have, any insurance across the board in the state of Florida, the majority of the country is 60 cents per pound, which is nothing. Let's be honest.
So insurance, let's just talk about what's covered. So if somebody hires a mover that's, just a fly by night, works out of their pickup truck, and they're saying, hey, I'll move you, but they don't have insurance. What's the dangers that could obviously...
Well, that's the chance that they take on their items not making it in one piece.
So the insurance is not necessarily that they get hurt or they did this, it's your insurance ensuring that the $10,000 picture doesn't get damaged. I just want to be clear, insurance is covering the material, your house, your
so
items.
The insurance that we carry, you have your general, your liability, your umbrella, your workman's comp, your auto cargo policies. And that all entails your coverage of your items in transport, your cargo, the liability insurance of us handling your items, God forbid something was to happen. But now every job comes with X amount of insurance.
Okay. Meaning your
items. Standard.
Yeah. So if you have $1 million, whatever the number is, you have that much coverage. That moving company that you hired, which is A class movers, has that.
We have the coverage to insure all of your items.
Got it.
But we only have that coverage to insure all of your items if you require or want additional insurance on your items. If not, it's a set price of 60 cents per pound.
Oh.
So for instance,
okay.
You have a computer or a TV in front of you.
Uh-huh.
That TV breaks. Let's say it weighs a pound. Yeah. I owe you 60 cents. which in 15, 16 years, we've never had a claim. So what we do is, look, Todd, you want to move? Look, this is going to be your additional insurance coverage. Do you want it? Look,
most people say yes.
Most people won't because they see the dollar amount that gets attached to it. So now they get nervous. So I can offer, you can call up your homeowner's insurance. You can get it covered through that. Or if you do want it, basically there's a process that goes with it. It's just like anything of depreciation. You may have paid $20,000 for your car as soon as you drive it off the lot. How much is it?
Right.
At today's value, what would that be? We can go ahead and replace it if it's still available, or something of less or similar.
But you've had zero claims.
Zero claims. Because if you are our customer, and hey, things happen in the labor industry. Nothing, you don't intend to have these mistakes. So, a dining room chair, we broke the leg.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hey, listen, this chair weighs 3 pounds. What am I going to do? Give you $1.80, $2 back? Listen, let me take this chair with me. We have vendors.
Yeah.
We'll take it to our vendor.
And
hey,
you get it fixed.
Can you replace that for me? Call you back. Hey, Todd, it's in the shop. They're going to call me back with a date that it should be ready for pickup. I'll grab it and I'll deliver it right back to you. That's what we do.
Cool. That's great, man.
Whereas, you do have fly-by-night, 60 cents per pound. Here you go.
So let's talk about the storage part, because that's really interesting, because it's not just for moves. Because if I'm, obviously, some people... And I told you personally, somebody who in Brickell area, Miami, downtown Miami area, and they're paying crazy amount for a storage that's literally got a couple photo albums and,
probably a 10 by 10.
Yeah, it's a tiny, but he's now, it doesn't need to be in Brickell. His lamp's not enjoying that beautiful view in Brickell. It's just sitting in it. So why not have it here in Miramar, where you're at, which is a beautiful spot? You guys would pick up, if somebody has a storage and they're paying, I don't know, making this up, $500 a month, and you can say, you know what, we can move it. We can move it to where we are, and you can do all that, and then store it here. Is that
100%? That's like I just randomly, somebody's talking about it. Oh, I'm looking for storage. I'm getting charged too much. Well, are you moving? No, I just want to relocate my items because I'm paying too much. Well, do you mind how much? Me asking how much you're paying, $500 for how much space, and then they tell me look. I can charge you $85 a month for one of our units, and it's here. Okay, so what do I have to do? You have options. You can bring it up to us yourself,
or you
can
go pick it up. We'll move it. Yeah.
We try to make it as easy on you as possible.
Yeah, no, I love that. And we talked a little bit too about companies that sell products. So if it's a business owner that has inventory and they don't have nowhere to put it, nowhere to hold it, you guys, this is a great spot for that too.
Correct.
So that's the same concept, but just and then if somebody wanted to access it, it's easy to get to. I mean, this is simple where you guys are located, right?
I mean, when you're dealing, because we're not the pin code access storage location.
No.
So now if you did have your items here and you called me yesterday or call me today, hey Danny, I'd like to come in tomorrow at such and such time. Can you do it? I'll check the board of what we have coming in or coming out, and I'll say, yeah, Todd, come right on then. We'll have your vault down for you at this time.
But most people aren't doing that in any of those places, I don't think. They're storing it, and then maybe once every 2 years they'll
come take a peek.
Yeah. Interesting. So the location-wise, as far as like customers that you work with, is it mostly Broward and Dade, or you do Palm Beach? I know you move anywhere, but I'm saying like as far as like
Tri-County.
Yeah.
Tri-County. As far as the Miami side of it, we're more on the coast. Downtown, high rises, Doral, Brickell, North Miami Beach, Sunny Isles, all that kind of stuff. We're all along the coast up the Tri-County area. When it comes to the residential side, all throughout Broward, a lot of Northwest Broward. We've just grown. I mean, this is where we're centrally located the entire time.
Awesome. Now, we've been talking a lot about residential, so homeowners move in, they want to store stuff, but there's a lot of other things that need moves, whether it's a business, obviously, it doesn't matter what, you're open to any moves, anybody, but if somebody's moving an office or maybe it's a cheerleading team or something that has an event and they need to haul a bunch of stuff to somewhere, it could be anything, right?
Whatever you need.
So has there been anything that somebody called and said, Danny, we're going to hire you guys for this, and you went, what? we've never done this before, but we'll do it. Has there been any?
I mean, there's a first for everything. I mean, and we'll do anything within reason.
Uh-huh.
So now, you know, if it's something outside of the scope that you're not used to, you want to go put some eyes on it.
Yeah.
And then again, the transparency kicks in.
Yep.
It's just like, you know what? I'm going to back off this one.
Yeah.
Because, you know, this isn't my specialty.
Yeah, exactly.
But for the most part, if it comes to residential or commercial, we have a lot of commercial clients, real estate companies.
All these real estate shows that are out there, you know, flip that house. This, I imagine real estate, especially in South Florida.
Yeah,
that's
crazy.
It's boom. So if a realtor were to call you and say, "Hey, I have 5 listings, 6 listings," and I mean, there'd probably be a good synergy with that. How is there anything? Is that? Do you work with real estate agents?
Hand in hand. Yeah, across all companies. But basically, when they do. How we work with realtors a lot of the time is they facilitate majority of the time for their clients. So they'll give us a call. Hey, can you do this? Yeah, we'll meet the realtor at that location. Hey, do you want us to submit this to them or do you want us to give it to you? And you put it all together. And that's how we grow our relationships with these realtors. And we have many clients and realtor connections, whereas, Danny, this is the address. This is the date they have to be out. This is the new location. You'll never see them.
Awesome. Perfect. And what about corporate moves? Like, so if, these big companies, these, Pepsi or whatever it is that's moving somebody to South Florida, there's a lot of people coming in and out of Miami and things like that. Is there a process for signing up to being like an approved moving company on that?
Back in the day, it was big time government, like a lot of government work, jobs and stuff like that. We don't really jump into that as much, but there are, just again, repeat customers that we have that their companies will relocate them. Basically, they're given an allowance, X amount of dollars to go ahead and relocate somebody. And it's just like, hey, just tell me what it is. That way I won't go over it, but now, if it's something that you're moving from here to California and they're only paying $4,000 for your job,
it's not going to cover it.
I'm not going to be able to get you there for that price.
Right.
So this is what we're working with here.
The corporate side, I would think they would have a bigger budget. They would if
they want you bad enough.
Yeah, exactly. And depends on what type of company that is.
Exactly.
But the walk me through just the whole process. So if somebody's thinking, again, they're going to be making a move, something's coming up, they're going to need a moving company. You said, which was surprising, you don't care if you have to call 5 months, 4 months in advance. You guys have that kind of personality to kind of be there and have a long-term client. So they get on the phone with you, talk to them. What are the steps other than you guys coming out, the day of the move or the day before the move and doing that preparation-wise? I mean, you guys pack everything. And again, some of these questions you might say, wait, everybody knows that. You know what? Other people don't want to know. You guys come and you pack everything. You just walk us through the process of a move.
So it all depends what the customer is requesting. 90% of the time they want to pack themselves. So, but they want a quote. So I encourage at least several quotes from other companies. And if you can get that company out to your location, that is what you want to do. If somebody on the other end of the phone is, oh, can you walk me through a FaceTime video?
Yeah, right. Does that happen?
Especially during COVID.
Yeah.
That was big.
Yeah.
Just walk me through. And it's just like, hey, listen, you can walk me through a video, but that's fine.
Yeah.
If you have time, let's sit down. I'm going to ask you all the detailed questions I possibly can to get all the information I need from you to be able to provide you for a quote. Now, if there's packing, I can't quote you without seeing it. And if you're greater than 3 bedrooms. Because a customer, you may miss something that we look at.
Yeah, yeah.
But very important. If you can get the gentleman or the female to come out to you from the company, that's what you want. Because now you're face to face with that person.
Plus, it's a trust. Now you know. Yeah.
Now you can talk to them.
Yep.
You can see how they operate, what their mannerisms are, how they react to certain questions, and whichever it may be. I'm not going to sit here and once I provide a quote to you, I'm not going to call you the next day. Hey, Todd.
Yeah.
Hey, you ready to get on the schedule? I need a deposit. Yada yada yada. I'm going to leave you alone.
Yep.
And then, hey, Danny, hey, Todd, I thought I lost you. No, listen, I got a moving date now.
It's confidence. And it's, what, you stand by what you guys are. You're a legit company. You're our number one moving company for a reason. And, look, there's a lot of companies out there. There's a lot of companies that you can't trust. I know personally the kind of people you guys are. And you have that confidence, and it's something to say, hey, get 2 other quotes. Don't just get mine, get them,
Correct.
and let's see, because that's great, man. Um, Anything else you want to mention to a homeowner, or like I said, any tip, anything at all that you think would be of value to to the homeowner?
Most importantly, just make sure you can have direct contact to the person you deal with. Nowadays, it's as simple as texting somebody.
Yep.
So if I give out my business card, office number, and my cell phone number is on that you have. So hey, office hours, it's closed. Shoot me a text.
Yep.
I'm the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously our men, our crew are the extension of us.
Sure.
So if it's something that they can't answer for you while they're there, they'll give us a call. Hey, listen, so-and-so's asking this and that. Sure. You have her call me, or does she want me to call her or him, whatever it may be. Transparency and communication is huge.
And how tough is that? You talked about the crew. Obviously, you guys have grown and you're going to continue to grow. But I'd imagine that's a hard side of it, is because you guys are passionate and you have that. And obviously, when you build a culture and you build a company, that's part of your job to do that. And
Correct.
With your background in sports and baseball and Dave's also, you get that. You understand the teamwork, the importance of that.
For sure.
What do you do with your guys to get them?
Well, when it first started, the guys you have, it's a revolving door.
Yep.
It's labor.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to get paid, but not everybody wants to work.
Right.
And now when you're able to maneuver and find bits and pieces that mesh, and again, 98% of us were men, so we're together all day, every day.
Yep.
Sometimes you got to pull somebody back, move them over here, separate.
Right.
But for the most part, our guys are our guys and have been here for 8 to 10 years.
Wow. Really?
Yes.
Damn.
So it's no surprises. We're all ball busters. It's a family atmosphere.
That's awesome. Yeah.
You got to give somebody something. Every, give
but
it
that's
to them.
great. I didn't realize that. I thought it was like so. These are the people that are actually doing the moves, the movers, the laborers. They've been with you for
8, 10
that's
years.
That's amazing.
And then when it's slam packed, me and Dave are back on the truck.
Yeah, I've seen that. I know. That's amazing.
So we have to get out there. We have to do it. We might have to take a truck or two out of state here and there.
Actually, funny story, and it's actually a testimony to you guys. I called you. I had my brother's my brother's father-in-law was moving to Wyoming, and you guys moved him
from Key
Keys.
Largo.
Yeah.
And he dropped in an in-between
Frank.
stop on me. Frank, Danny, I got a question. I said, what's that? He said, I need you to drop off some stuff on the way. I said, sure, not a problem. Where you have the address? It's in Long Island.
Oh, that's a long way.
I said, Frank, that's a hell of a detour, dude.
That is so funny.
And he was like, man, whatever it is, don't worry. I was like, all right. And then when we got there, he met us out on the main road because
how crazy
beautiful place.
Yeah.
Beautiful place. It was a little sketchy, Frank, what's going on here? Where we going?
Yeah.
Where we going? And me and Dave got up there and we were like, wow, look at this. And he was
there's nothing out
the truck
there.
Up.
Yeah.
The house wasn't even completely built.
Oh, man.
They were still building. Him and the wife gave us a tour. Great people.
They are.
4th quarter tattoos.
Yeah, that's right.
For the last leg of their life.
That's right.
Yep. And he was ordering some, I think it was Percheron horses that he was bringing onto the property, some mules. And I was like, what is going on here?
No, he wanted to get off the grid, and he's like...
Yeah, he's off the grid.
He is definitely off. That place is way off out there, but he's one of the best people. They're both incredible.
Great people.
They're awesome.
I mean, it was a meltdown for everybody when we were pulling out of the Key Largo house. Grandkids, everybody.
Yeah.
That was our last hurrah at the house.
It was tough.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of fun time at that spot, and
beautiful house.
Yeah, he built up. It was amazing. Yeah. But now the next one, you should see what it is out there. And obviously it was getting built when you were there. But the finished product, man, he doesn't cut any corners.
No.
But anyway, you did such a great job on that. A lot of testimonials from you guys, man.
Appreciate it.
But I'm looking forward to more of those. And with you as our number one vendor on One Home, that's going to happen. So anybody needs to get in touch with you, easiest way is, and I'll put the number up there, phone, just give them a call. And these are people that want to talk to you. So it's not like, fill a form out, we'll get back to you. Just give it, like I said, text
and you have the option to do that via online website.
Sure.
You can fill out the form, but we'll shoot you a text back. You want to talk?
Nice.
Call,
all right. Yeah.
You want to set up an appointment? We'll come to your house and we'll meet with you and give you anything that you need.
Awesome. Danny, you're the man.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, brother.
All right, my man.